Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. We are still here at LS Fest, beautiful Bowling Green, Kentucky. Thanks to Holly for bringing us out here. Thanks to the Bowling Green Visitors Bureau for bringing us out here. We met Chuck. We had some other shoots lined up and those have fallen through and we went in the search. You know, we literally 5 minutes before we saw you drive by, I'm not kidding, dude. We better find something else to shoot, you know? And you came rolling by and we all just went like, yeah, Ken, go chase him down, man. And so, you know, thanks for taking the time to do this with us. I appreciate it, man. I gotta say, this is probably the most radical BMW that we've ever shot, probably that I've ever been around, actually. What year is it?
It's a 2004 645 CI. Not a lot of cars are done like this for the 645 CI.
Right.
Right now, as much as I've researched, this is the only one that is built like this with the swap, wide body, and I just wanted something different, man.
Yeah. No, it's radically different. And like we were talking about before the camera started rolling, like I know there's certain communities of people that are very purist about their vehicles. BMW guys don't dig when you pull BMW power out. They don't mind if you go from like this engine to that engine within the family.
Right.
Well, we don't take kindly to folks that don't take kindly around here.
They just don't want the BMW going away, and you've gone way away from that.
And I did. I got frowned on and kind of removed myself from that. I figured performance in a car is performance in a car. It doesn't matter what it is, you know?
Dude, I couldn't agree more. It's an LS, right?
It is a LS 5.3. Of course, this is my very first swap. It is currently still running stock bottom end. They are good for up to 20 pounds of boost. It has the Truck Norris camshaft. It also has the full trunnion kit from BTR. A lot of motion raceworks, upgrades, valve covers, you know, the list kind of goes on. We're looking for a Pro Charger setup. I didn't want to have to go in and hack into the exhaust and everything else. Wasn't looking for a crazy amount of power, but wanted to give it some more kick. So I went with the Torque Storm. It done the trick for me as far as, you know, the power wise.
What do you make? Do you know, did you dyno it?
It's doing 630 to the wheels.
Wow, dude.
It's close to 700 to the crank. It is on the E85.
Yeah.
It's running two 340 pumps. One is surge, one is a inline with a fuel cell. Currently the car is set up on air suspension. We'll probably swap over to like a QA1 suspension. It will transition over from show car to the track, but we're gonna try to keep it clean.
Right.
So we will keep the wheels on standby for like show car quality stuff to bring it out like this. You know what I mean?
And then have a different setup when you're going out to track.
Right, yeah, because you know, if you're gonna do speed, man, go to the track.
Yeah,
you know.
Dude, I love that you said that. I couldn't agree more, bro.
Definitely.
Seriously, man. You did all the work yourself on this car?
It's never seen a shop. I've done everything to this car at the house. I'm not a mechanic. I've learned a lot of stuff from just YouTube. Countless nights of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, just kind of watching videos and just learning.
What'd you run on transmission?
First, I had the TH350. It couldn't handle the power we were putting at it. The input shaft went out on it, so I went with a Power Glide. It does run a 1.69 straight cut gear, planetary, Circle D, torque converter with a 3600 stall. That seemed to be like the perfect stall. You know, those guys over at Circle D, they will ask for everything you need to prioritize. That way they can dial it in to know how much stall you need to get into the power. When we put this in here, I didn't expect for it to do what it does. There's no hesitation. It's either one, you're gonna go or you're gonna spin.
Now you're a paint body guy. That's what you do for a living, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So obviously then all the paint and body work is you.
Yeah. I know that some people would actually frown upon like if something's not done in a controlled paint booth, climate controlled and everything else. This was painted in a 2-bay building. Came out very clean. We hit it on, you know, not a real windy day. And it came out fairly clean. We done some water sanding and polishing on it. This is actually Honda white with a 2-stage pearl over it, which is a purple to green flop. So it is a tri-coat color.
Now the body kit, it's not a custom one-off kit. Is this something that you bought?
All right, man. I searched and searched and searched, dude. Okay, so this is from Krotov. It took me 6 months to get this thing. Did I think the quality was gonna be bad when I got it? I did, man, because the price was really cheap. At that time, it was actually only $1,300.
For fenders and quarters?
That's everything. The over fenders, side skirts, they actually came in a 2-piece, and the rear over fenders
Really?
So I one piece the sides. You just don't want that gap in the middle. You know what I mean? You want it to be a full piece.
Yeah.
We fiberglassed that in and just kind of finished it out the way it is. It was a battle to get everything on there. I can say that.
I'll bet it was. Like tons of body working going on.
Yeah, it was a lot of cutting, trimming to make sure nothing's gonna hit, make sure the wheels are gonna clear.
Yeah, man, seriously. You're not quietly showing up in this car. You got no hood on it. You got the crazy engine in it. This wide body kit in it.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, you seem like a fairly mild-mannered dude. I mean, that's the part that's cracking me up is it's like, it's really super bitchin'. All right, back to some of the mechanical stuff. Sorry, I started getting thrown off by the body, but like as far as, besides the air, is it still stock suspension then, or is that all been changed out on this car?
The only thing that is stock suspension are the control arms, the trailing arms. It does have an M6 solid front sway bar in it. The rear still has a active sway bar in it, which it's been deleted. It's gonna get a solid sway bar. Everything is running on AirTech suspension right now. Everything else is stock. I get things like, man, that thing's probably slow. It looks too good to be fast. No, it will perform. It don't. That's one of my big things. Don't make something look good and then it not perform.
Yeah, man, seriously,
cover all
bro.
your angles, you know?
No, dude, I'm with you. Now I'm starting to see too, I know you were talking about your splitter up here. It's not just a front lip, obviously. You can see, I mean, that's a big chunk there.
Yeah. This is a full chassis mount. You can use aluminum. There's a lot of them, really nice ones that are made out of wood. This one is actually made out of lightweight wood, and I used a carbon twill and resin to overlay over it to give it a nice finished look, and plus, who doesn't like carbon? And
no doubt, but that it's a chunk of wood under all that is really wild to me, man.
some people don't even know it, man.
But chassis mounted, and you said the same thing with your side
Those
skirts
are
too,
also
right?
chassis mounted
and your
too.
rear?
This on the rear is actually a 2014 M6 rear diffuser.
Oh, really?
They don't make a lot of things for this car, man, and I call it Frankenstein. There's so many cars out here that have like these cookie cutter where you can just go out and buy this and go out and buy that.
Yeah.
Man, I struggled to find everything that I found for this car and to make it work. So I got the rear diffuser, which I paid around 450 bucks. Carbon isn't cheap. Winded up having to cut it down, man, and making it work to where it looks like it will fit the car, and I think it turned out well.
It looks great,
not being able to find parts for this car.
The whole car looks great, and I'll be dead honest with you. Typically, I don't know how else to say it, the Liberty Walk, right? That world of car.
Yes.
Maybe I'm too old or something at this point, but it's not. But it's just never been a style that really moves me. I don't knock it because I know it's.
Right.
You know, for some guy that did it to his Honda, he's stoked, and you should be, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's radical, but it's all done tastefully, in my opinion. It's very class.
I tried to keep it clean, man.
Yeah.
You can go overboard with a car. Easily. Although it does not look like a 645 Ci anymore, it does look like a BMW.
It does. You didn't lose it, man.
Right.
I'm curious, exhaust-wise, I forgot to ask that before, because the car sounds really good.
Okay, so this is actually still factory BMW exhaust. I've only done the rear muffler delete. I have also done X-pipe. It has no cats on it. So that's pretty much where you get the true LS sound. The X-pipe comes across and it kind of kills some of the rasp in it, but you also get that nice crisp, you know, LS cam sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is factory BMW exhaust, but a little changed up here and there.
Little tweaked here and there, yeah.
Little tweak here and there. That's about it.
What's your wheel and tire setup on here? Because it's another great look on this car, man.
The rears are a 20x14 Evo 61. They are a 3-piece wheel, -53 offset. The fronts are a 20x10 and a -43 offset to get it to fit these over fenders. The first thing that people really notice if they're behind me is how wide the car is.
What tire sizes are you running with these?
This is currently, I believe, a 305 on the rear. The fronts are, since the last time I looked, I believe they're a 285. When I first wide-bodied it, man, it was, you know, when that feeling that you get whenever you modify something and you don't know if you're gonna be happy or if you're gonna be dissatisfied. Once you cut that car, there's no turn.
You're committed, man.
You make that first cut, you're committed. 3-year build, man, I'm more than happy with this car, dude.
Yeah, you should be. Let's look, I want to see your interior, because I'm guessing you've done stuff in here. Well, yes, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
Holy cow, dude, you went So what all have you done in here, dude?
So on the door cards, these were actually a normal leather door panel. I wanted to go a little bit more wild with it. So I was like, you know, I'm always painting something. So I wanted a base coat finish in these, and I wanted up wrapping this in the Alcantara. These were handmade carbon fiber, so these didn't come like this. I had to make all these pieces.
So you made those?
I had to make all these pieces. Also the steering wheel, the center portion, the switches, the carbon fiber, all that was handmade, man. The console is actually base coat finish too. I handmade the boot for the emergency brake and the Alcantara, and we put the B&M shifter in here for the trans brake. And it also runs on a Holley Terminator X. So it's pretty much a standalone system.
Yeah. And then seats, obviously,
The seats are actually from Braum. I went back and forth with about 4 different style seats, man. We wanted to keep most of the interior this color, you know, your gray, try to keep it like the factory feel of a BMW, right? We were actually strolling through Joanne's Fabric trying to figure out what we were gonna do with the headliner. She came up with a pretty crazy idea, the girlfriend, and
I just saw the headliner for the first time.
yeah, dude, that's kind of where we went with that. And I was all for it, so.
It's fitting because the car is just kind of radical at every friggin' look. I mean,
appreciate it,
literally
man.
at every look. And then you got your harness bar in here.
Yeah, the harness bar is actually from Braum too. Back there behind the seats, that's where I ended up mounting the surge tank in the center of the car. So I try to do everything as proper as possible, so once we do actually take it to the track, you know, it can pass certification. The harnesses are also certified too, so they will pass.
I like that you didn't just go crazy and radical and just build something for the sake of it, but you know, the idea that you drive it, you enjoy it, you have plans of now taking it to the next stage,
right,
which is going out to the drag strip and running the car with a different set of wheels and tires.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of times, and I'm sure you've seen it plenty, you know, where you see a car that it might look really good, but there's a lot of things you see where you go, that's a little bit probably sketchy going down the road, you know?
Right.
I mean, you got a header running right next to a brake line.
No.
It's like, you know, I don't know if that's the smartest place to put that.
We actually ran the fuel lines exactly where the stock fuel lines were, so that we're away from any moving part, anything that like such as exhaust.
And smart of you to trust that, you know, the BMW engineers might have known a thing or two when they put it all together.
They do, man. They are brilliant.
I mean, I'm not a hardcore German car guy, but I've always giggled whenever I've heard somebody go, oh, I don't like them because they're over-engineered. It's like, wait a second, you're gonna get in something, you're gonna go fast in it, and you've got a problem with that it was over-engineered? I'm sorry, I can't agree with you on this one. So dude, another one that, like, you guys might have missed this, but if you catch on here, your front lighting on this car is bonkers, and yet it's, again, you making stuff, right?
This is a factory housing. The lenses are from a M6. They do not make a replaceable lens for the 645, so I had to wind up cutting down these to make them fit on the 645 CI housing. Overall, the headlights are not cheap at all. The lenses, which are the honeycombs, those actually came from eBay. I wound up inserting those into the factory housing. We didn't modify the internals of the headlight. It still works as factory. It still has factory HIDs. I think that might have been one of the best moves for the headlights. Yeah.
So unique. And explain what you did here, because you were telling me off camera your marker lights. I mean, you guys, what this guy did on these marker lights alone is... We
struggle to find an idea. Like, the girlfriend plays a lot of part in this car. It's coming up with ideas. I went with a plexiglass, man. I got it from Amazon, and it's like, well, let me cut it to the shape of the bumper. It just comes square. I wound up cutting it with a jigsaw and water sanding the front portion of it to give it the frost, and put the controllable LEDs behind it so that you can actually use your phone to change the sequence. I can change the lower portion to whatever color, sequence, or whatever you want to do. We kind of just left it to, if you want to lock the car, then it will let you know that it's locked. And then you can transition, you can unlock it, the lower portion comes on.
And then that's your running lights and your turn signals and stuff.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. This is a wild car, man. And I gotta tell you, bro, I mean, it's my first time ever coming to an LS Fest event. I assume I'm gonna see, obviously, a lot of GM-based vehicles, right? You know,
right.
LS-based cars
No doubt.
stuff. This is so not expected, and I'm really glad you happened to drive by at the time that you did. It was really, really super cool. By the way, you guys, his girlfriend, this is how cool his girl is. She took off for about a 45-minute drive to go get E85 so he can be fresh and full on E85. And then we'll go do some driving.
That sounds good to me, man.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
I can tell, man. It just spins them right away, huh?
That's the stall that's in it. When we first put it in there, she said, it sounds like it's lagging. I said, no, it's the stall that's in it. It's getting to where the power's at.
Is it a manual valve body, or can you
full.
put it in drive and just drive?
It's a full manual.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're still in first gear. Yeah, it's just a little bit.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah,
No, you can tell there's a lot of car here, man.
Yeah, I'm just babying it.
Yeah. I can't get over how good the car sounds, man. It's such a...
Kind of like a rocket ship.
It's a bit of a mind job, too. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, obviously, it sounds like a muscle car, but we're in a BMW.
I know, right?
So it's really a funny mix, man.
And high gear, like this is like your one-to-one gear. Like say you're like cruising on the highway, you would be in that gear. You wouldn't just go, stay in first gear all the time. Of course, because it's only a 2-speed.
Right. So in your high gear at, say, 75 miles an hour on the freeway, what are you at RPM-wise?
Low gear will do 90 miles an hour. So
Really?
by the time you reach an eighth of mile track, you're still in low gear. It's a super long gear.
Wow, man.
And then high gear, I think what they top the power glide out is like 160, 170. And that's only 2 gears. Yeah. I love the TX350. It took a dump on me. We're gonna start breaking it down and probably gonna swap the other BMW that I got and keep that one, but leave it naturally aspirated on E85. So I'm gonna break that down, and I've never rebuilt a transmission, but I'm gonna learn. I'm serious.
I love it, dude. I'm laughing because I think it's just cool that you're a figure it out kind of guy. Like you're not.
You can ask her everything I've ever done, learned from YouTube. I've literally sat there until like 1:30 in the morning, learned it, done it, and went to work the next day.
Yeah.
And started on the next thing.
Such a trip, no shifting. It's wild to just sit there in that gear.
Yeah. We had a lot more to go.
Oh, I can tell. There's a lot more. I see what you mean. That clunky feel, right?
It's direct.
Yeah, I get it.
We didn't even change the gear. We set in high gear.
That is perfect. Sick car you built, dude. I gotta be honest, man. It's really like, I always marvel at people that just figure it out and do it all themselves. Like, I get it, you're a paint body guy, so the body kit, I'm not as blown away by that because, well, of course, you're a paint body guy. You better be able to do that good.
Right.
But it's figuring out all the other stuff and having it all work. It really trips me out. get on it, I mean, I know you're not getting on it. I know you're not batting the throttle.
We're just gonna ease it.
Yeah, but it really seems like it drives well. That's batting the throttle. This car is fucking badass. Well, that was a completely cool, unexpected surprise, man. Wandering around, we see Chuck's car, and it was no-brainer. Hey, dude, do you want to shoot with us? And I'm really stoked he said yes. It was nice to meet him, fun to go for a ride in his car. And I absolutely love what he did. I mean, that thing's radical, man. It gets down. He did some crazy mods to it. More to come from LS Fest East. We got a bit more shooting to do. It's only Friday, and there's a couple days left of this, so more to come. You guys, thanks for hanging and watching what we do, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, man.